Aham akashavat sarvam bahirantargato chutaha sada sarva samatsiddho nisango nirmalo chalaha. Aham, I, akashavat, like space, sarvam, all things, bahihi, without, antaha, within, gataha, permeate, achyutaha, changeless, sada, always, sarva samaha, same in all, siddhaha, pure, nisangaha, unattached, nirmalaha, stainless, achalaha, motionless. I permeate all things inside and out like space, changeless and uniform in all. I am pure, unattached, stainless, and immutable.
Namaste. So this verse compares consciousness with space. Akash. Akash is everywhere and in everything. In the same way, Brahman permeates all. So you can look at the space, let's say, the space in a cup. Is the space in the cup any different from the space outside the cup? No. And if the cup is destroyed, what happens to the space in the cup? Well, it simply merges with the space, all pervading, as it always was. And it was only our recognition of the name and form of the cup that caused us to distinguish the space within from the space without. So it's the same thing with Brahman. Brahman is everywhere, in everything, and indeed is the root substance of which everything is made. So even if the container, like such as this human body, gets destroyed, which it ultimately will, that consciousness doesn't go anywhere. Just like the space in the cup. The space in the cup was always part of the all-pervading space. Similarly, the consciousness in the human body or any body was always part of the all-pervading Brahman. That doesn't change when the body dies. So, to see this everywhere is actually the normal condition. Changeless and uniform in all, as the shloka says. Pure, unattached, stainless, and immutable. So even though to our vision, the consciousness within one body appears to be a separate individual, it's actually not at all. And that's what Shankaracharya says that's what he means when he says the jiva and Brahman are identical. Jivo parama atmanaha. So whether the jiva atmana or the param atmana, Atman is Atman. They can't be separated. Nuparaha, he says. They can't be divided into one or another. Let me read that verse. Brahma satyam jagan mitya jivo brahmaiva naparaha anena vedyam satchastram iti vedanta dindimaha. That this is the correct understanding according to Shastra. Now, Shastra is a very interesting word. Shastra can mean a command, an instruction, a kind of weapon, a book, especially a sacred book, and actually many other things. But the point is that these statements in the Shastra are like a command. They're like, you should think like this. So we should take this as an instruction for manana. You know, the path of Advaita is divided into Shravana, Manana, and Nididasana. Nididhyasana means sitting down and realizing it. But manana means to think over it, contemplate, and ponder it until you get it. Like a joke. A joke is only funny if you get it. It's a gestalt. It's not simply an intellectual understanding. In fact, the literal understanding of a joke is mostly that, well, this is silly. And it is silly on purpose. You know, like you could say, Shiva and Maya walk into a bar. Well, that's the joke, right? Because Shiva and Maya never go into bars. They live in the spiritual world. There are no bars because everyone is suffused with overflowing transcendental bliss. So there's no need for bars or drugs or any other kind of intoxication. Everyone there is just unlimitedly happy. So that's the thing. I had a vision of this last night. It was a full moon, and it was also a lunar eclipse, a total lunar eclipse. I went to bed about 10 o'clock, and the last time I looked out the window, the eclipse was about 1/4 complete. So it probably was complete around midnight. Well, of course, at midnight, I woke up, boing, with all this really strong lunar energy happening. And of course, this is the best time to meditate. So I grabbed my little mala, my endless mala. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. And there's no headbeat. So it just keeps going endlessly, which is what we want, right? So I'm there, I'm just lying in bed, midway between sleeping and waking, which is the perfect state of mind for meditation. And I'm chanting my mantra. I mean, I can chant my mantra even while I'm asleep. So the mantra is going, the light is coming, bliss, 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 right? And I find myself in the spiritual world with Shiva and Shakti and Nandi, the bull, Shiva's vehicle, and the lion, Singhavahana, Shakti's vehicle. And we're all sitting around enjoying each other's company. And Shiva comes up with this, well, do you really want to stay here longer? Do you need to stay here any longer? Or can you move on to complete absorption in Brahman? And, well, just the fact that he brought it up meant that he thinks I'm ready. He thinks I've been compensated already enough for my various childhood traumas and so on, that this fount of overflowing love in the spiritual world has erased all of that. And then there is no more need for compensation for the pains, the dukkha, the suffering, especially the mental and emotional suffering of human existence. And that, okay, you've known now for a long time that your ultimate destination is Brahman. So now that you're not hurting anymore, now that you're all healed, now that your emotional body is full and complete, isn't it time to just dissolve into Brahman? And, I had another vision last week that Shakti removed me, she gave me unbinding. She removed the bindings that anchor my personality in the material world, and I was free. So it makes sense that coming just after that, the next vision would be Shiva going, well, I think you're done. I think you've had enough now of living in this spiritual world. See, in the spiritual world, everybody is enlightened. It's not like this world where everybody is an ignorant fool and rascal. Everybody is enlightened, full of love, compassion, doing good deeds to one another unlimitedly. So, I mean, how much of that do you need really to overcome all of the traumas and all of the bad karma and everything you've accumulated for millions of lives? Well, when you're done, you're done. There's no specific measure. It's when Shiva decides to give you the mercy, nothing can hold it back, right? So now the path is clear. There's nothing now standing between me and Brahman. So I am free now to merge into Brahman and experience that total bliss from which the mind and words recoil, unable to reach it. So I don't know what that means in terms of our channel here, but I'm going to try to keep on going as long as possible. And so you should understand these verses and study them for yourself. Use the Sanskrit dictionary, sanskritdictionary.com. You know, of course, to use it, you're going to have to learn to type either in Devanagari or IAST, which is something you should have been studying now as long as you've been associated with this channel, because that's what I do. I write Sanskrit words correctly in the proper language, in the proper typeface, and so on. And so should you. Like when you make comments or ask questions on the channel. You do make comments and ask questions, right? Anyway, so now the path is clear. And I'm going home.